Well, here I am on the start of this walk. I've come on a Thursday and I've got the whole place to myself, right out in the middle of nowhere. The roads here are up and down and really quite interesting. I've come on the bike, which had an interesting story on the way here. I come off the motorway and had no front brake. Suddenly realised that the brake oil was empty in the reservoir, which has never happened before. So luckily I've pulled off at the garage and topped it up and it's working alright. So lucky for me, because coming down those hills a minute ago was quite scary. Anyway, you can just see through the back of the house the Dragon's Back. I think it's Parkhouse Hill first, then Chrome Hill. That's looking over there, but absolutely beautiful. And it's about 11 degrees, so I've not put a coat on at the moment. I think I'll keep warm by just walking. But yeah, beautiful here. First bit of the walk, when you come off the road there's an honesty shop where you can get coffee and chocolate and ice cream and stuff. That's quite good. But look at the outcrop there, look. Oh my word. Zoom in again. You see what they call it, the Dragon's Back around here, can't you? There's not a soul about either. 8:30, so the tourists haven't really arrived. I've seen one walker and nobody else. There's 2 people on the top already, which is quite impressive. Here's an interesting thing I've never seen before. They've run away now, but those sheep have got like little plastic coats on. Maybe just to protect them from the cold. There's a lamb there in the middle of nowhere. Look. I've never seen that. There's a mother here. There's 2 just born up there as well. Look, little pink things. Look at these 2 here asleep. Sorry, Mum, I don't want to disturb you. Oh, they're lovely. Oh, here, Mum. Beautiful. Walk quietly. For me, I came up through Ashbourne, which is a good place to stop and use the toilet and have a bacon roll sort of thing. That's the last place, I suppose, before you get up here at this time of the morning. There is a tea room where I've stopped, but I can imagine this time of year it'll only be open Saturdays and Sundays. The first rule of the Garmin is always to look at it. I was making that film up there, forgot to look at the Garmin and the path went off to the left, so now I've got to go a little bit off piste to get up there. My first little climb, my lungs will start to hurt me. Sitting on that motorbike for 2 hours, everything's stiff, so yeah, the first half an hour is going to be good fun. Okay, this is one of those places where you climb and you go up very quickly. It is not for the faint-hearted. Yeah, this was only a 15-minute climb, but it was straight up, quite windy as well. It's a bit like Adrian's Wall, really, and I'm not going near. It's a very sharp drop just there. Yeah, ooh, it's a long way down. This side's not too bad, sort of like an escarpment. But it's remote here. You need some safety device. I don't know about mobile phone. I haven't checked to see if that works here. It does in some places, because obviously I used sat nav on my bike to get here. But yeah, get yourself a Garmin navigator with SOS on it, especially if you're on your own. Press a button and they'll know exactly where you are. So within 30 minutes of leaving the bike, we're on the summit of Parkhouse and we're heading down there now, across that bimble and up that hill. This is not for the faint-hearted. Oh my word, you've got to go around here, over that precipice and down. It's a long way down in a short period of time. Not relishing this. suppose on an OS map you've really got to look at how close the lines are, and they are very, very close on this part. So, but we are in the most beautiful place, and now we're climbing again, and he's just over there. Look, he's done a couple of Wainwrights at the weekend, so he's obviously a serious walker. But yeah, off we go again. There's part of the Dragon's Back. Lump in the middle and then over to the back. And now we're going up this way to Crome Hill. And guess what? Straight up. Well, there's where we came from. We've just come up this bit. And although it's a steep climb, it's just a bit of stretch on your calves. It's not too bad, a little bit windy. But actually it's quite amenable. Of course, down there you've got the escarpment. A long way down. If you're training for Adrian's Wall, this is probably a good place to come because the territory is very similar. I'm standing right on the escarpment now. You can see over here the end of the Dragon's Back. Just jumping up and down there. I don't know how that's going to come out on the camera, but you'll see it shortly. And then I suspect that is Holland's Hill over there, but again it's a bit of a climb up to it and then come down back in the direction of where I started. Look at this, I found a little cave. Just came down that path there. Just down here is a little cave. Through the cave for a view outside, and there is no wind here. What a place. It's very much like a Striding Edge actually, when you come down and you kind of walk up these paths in between the pinnacles. 1 minute it's like silent, there's no wind, and then you go over the top and you get hit by it. And then we're going down here. It's a proper adventure, this one. Well, apparently this is called the Concession Path. Just coming off the back of Crome Hill there. That was quite a nice little bimble down actually. And then we're going to go back up again and see a few sheep. You can just see the Dragon's Back in the distance. And we just walked across this field after a stiff climb. It's now back to being flat. We're going across a little allotment. Yeah, just made a little mistake there. I followed it up to the gate. Footpaths going across that field, and my Garmin started bleeping. It's actually supposed to be going this way. No route markers over this way at all, so yeah, Garmin's saved me again. It sounds really windy on camera, I bet, but it's just a nice breeze and really warm. Maybe about 14 degrees at the minute. About 10:45, it's not too late. Down in the valley now. Little weir down there. Little natural weir going around the corner here. Little ford. Get the cattle through. And we're going up and around. Yeah, I'm glad I came this way actually. It's just quite pleasant. And here we are in just over 2.5 hours we're back. It's about 2 hours, 2 3/4 hours to do that.